Welcome to Calculator Active. My name is Yemia Pearson, and today we're going to look at how you can enter fractions into the TI-73 Explorer. So I've already cut my calculator on, but I want to reset it. So I'm going to go second 0, 7, 1, 2 to reset, and then I'm going to clear so I'm at my home screen. So there are two types of fractions that we could look at entering. We're going to first look at simple fractions, and these are the ones that consist of just the numerator and the denominator. Here I've taken a screenshot of the row of keys that will primarily be used when you're dealing with fractions. So first we're going to enter the fraction 2/3, and if you look at the second key on this row, B/C, this looks like this fraction, 2/3. So to enter the fraction, I'm going to first enter my numerator, which is 2. And then I'm going to tell the calculator, hey, this is the beginning of a fraction. So I'm going to hit the B/C key. And now you can see the cursor is blinking in the denominator position. So now I press the denominator of 3. And then my right arrow indicates I'm done typing in this fraction. And this is what it is. You're able to do operations and things with the fractions just as they are. But I first want to show you how to enter those. So again, that's 2/3. I press enter and just 2/3 comes back up. All right, so let's say I want to enter the simple fraction 10/9. Again, my numerator is 10, so I type 10, and then I hit the BC key, and the denominator is 9, and I'm done with this fraction, and I press the right arrow. So depending on the mode that your calculator is in, it may take this simple fraction and actually convert it to a mixed number. So let's check the mode. Mode key is right beside the second yellow key here. And if I look at my mode, let's look at what a couple of these mean. Normal and scientific, this is the notation of your answers. So we want to keep that in normal unless we're needing an answer in scientific notation. Float is where you want to keep this set most of the time, unless your actual question is asking you to round to 3 decimal places or 5 decimal places, then you can actually choose those numbers. For middle school, we don't normally deal with degree and radian, so we leave it in degree. And this next line is what I'm speaking of in regards to mixed numbers or simple fractions. So right now, if there is a simple fraction that I'm typing in my calculator and it's improper, then it will change this to a mixed number. And then the last line allows you to ask the calculator to automatically simplify it, or you can manually simplify it. And we'll look at this in a later video. So right now I'm going to leave all those settings like they are. I'm going to return to my home screen by pressing second quick. All right, so I have 10/9. I finished entering that fraction. I'm going to press enter. And as you can see, it changed 10/9 to 1 1/9. Okay, next, let's look at how you enter mixed numbers in the calculator. So mixed numbers, again, combine a whole number with a fraction. And for this, we're going to use our unit key. So when I look at the mixed number 2 3/4, I know that 2 represents 2 whole units. So I'm going to enter the number 2. And then I'm going to press the unit. So this is saying, hey, this is a mixed number. You have 2 whole units. Now what's the rest of the fraction that's associated with this mixed number? The cursor is blinking in the numerator position, so I'm going to enter 3. And then I'm going to hit the down arrow so I can enter the denominator, which is 4. And then I'm going to hit the arrow to the right to indicate that I'm done entering that fraction. And so now we have 2 3/4. And when we press enter here, again, we end up with 2 3/4 because our mode was still on mixed numbers. All right, so let's enter 5 1/2. 5 is a unit, so I press unit after the number 5. And now I'm going to enter 1 as my numerator, down arrow, 2 as my denominator. Right arrow indicates I'm done with this fraction, and then enter. Next, let's look at how we can convert. Again, this row is primarily what you will use when you're dealing with fractions. So we talked about the unit, we talked about the B/C. This next key is F to D or D to F, which means you're changing fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. And then the fourth key here deals with changing mixed numbers to simple fractions and simple fractions to mixed numbers. Okay, so for the first example, let's convert 1/4 to a decimal. 1/4 is a simple fraction, so we're going to have to put it in as such. So I'm going to type 1 B/C to indicate this is a beginning of a simple fraction. 4 is a denominator. Right arrow means you're done entering the fraction. And now we're going to press the F to D key. And again, this means we're changing this fraction to a decimal. And then we press enter. And we see that 1/4 is equivalent to 25 hundredths. Okay, so let's say I want to go backwards. I want to look at, I'm going to take the 25 hundredths and I'm going to recall that answer. You're able to do that. There's an answer function here right above the negative, so I need to push second answer. What this does is it recalls the last answer that was derived from the calculator. So I'm going to take that answer and I'm going to hit F to D again. That answer was a decimal. Now it's going to go the opposite direction and change that to a fraction. Press enter, and there we have 1/4. Okay, now let's look at converting 33% to a fraction. So I'm going to type in the number 33. And if you look directly below the simple fraction key, there is a percent key. So I'm hitting percent. And I want to change this to a fraction. Well, I don't have a percent to fraction key, but I can change this first to a decimal by simply pressing enter. So as you see, it has changed 33% to 33 hundredths. Now I'm going to convert that to a fraction by pressing my F to D key. And again, without even typing in 33 hundredths, when I press this key, the calculator automatically knows I'm talking about taking that last answer. When I press enter, you see that we end up with the fraction 33/100. All right, next, let's look at converting simple fractions to mixed numbers. So I have the simple fraction 25/8. I'm going to type that in, 25 BC 8, right arrow. The mixed number to simple fraction key is what I want to hit. And then I press enter, and it has converted 25/8 to 3 1/8. And lastly, let's take this mixed number. And remember, we're going to have to use the unit key here and convert that to a simple fraction. 6 unit, 1 down arrow, 2 right arrow, done with the fraction, and then hit the convert key and press enter. So 6 1/2 is 13 halves as a fraction. Hopefully the information here on entering fractions is helpful, and in the next set of videos you'll see how to actually perform calculations with these fractions. Thank you so much.